Speaking of Nick Allen, Brody Brazil and Shooty Babbitt here to understand that the season is not going how anybody wants. I mean, there were some expectations the A's would struggle. Things have certainly slipped here in the month of June, but it kind of brings us to figuring out what is the way out of this season. What are we going to take away if the record's going to be rough for the team? What individuals can we look at as the future core of the Oakland A's? Because we do know there are some things in the pipeline, but there's also some things, some assets already here, Shooty, including Nick Allen. And if I'm being fair here, I think the first thing people know about him is defensively, he is sound as a middle infielder. Let's start with that.
Typically, your reputation precedes you, and he has that of being a wizard with the leather. I can't speak enough of the impact that he had on our Olympic team this past year, in which they won a gold medal down there. But Nick Allen has presence. Just check out his disposition on the field. Just look at his court awareness. Check out his clock in which it works. And just his ability to have feel and not be tone deaf for the things that are going around him in the middle of the diamond. It's very tough to play that position. Typically, the best athlete on the field plays shortstop. Nick Allen is a true player, he's a grinder, and he's a manager's delight.
Let's talk about the bat a little bit. Obviously undersized, so people are going to underrate his power. Did go yard in his first game back with the team. He's already been up earlier this year, then got sent back down to AAA. So what do we need to know about number 2's bat?
I think you just need to watch his approach, just to watch that he's comfortable in the box, that he has an understanding of what he's trying to do. He's capable of making a guy pay for a mistake, even though he's a little guy. Then you can see him right back, come back and shoot something in right field. And that's what I like to see. He's a guy that makes contact. He understands how to utilize. He knows how to manipulate a little bit. So he's a complete hitter, if you will, with a chance to be able to be a good hitter.
Let's get you on the gram, Shooty. You know what I'm talking about here?
On the Insta?
You do know. Jonah, you're not on there, right? No, okay. Jonah Bride is, though, and he had a nice, sentimental poster, a lifelong dream come true. Beyond blessed for this opportunity. Wouldn't be here without the best family and friends, teammates, coaches, trainers, and everyone who has been part of my journey. Check that out on Instagram. But Jonah Bride obviously pumped to be here at this level. And maybe what surprised us a little bit so far is his glove. We knew about his bat. We'll see more of that in just a second. But Jonah Bride defensively last night made a couple great plays.
I guarantee all those people that he spoke of, that he gave credit to, knew how well he defended. It's those that have watched him on just a limited basis, especially when a guy has been playing first base most of his professional career.
Yeah.
But the athletic ability that he's been able to show in a body that does not indicate that he's this physical type of guy that plays in the middle of the diamond, because typically you need a body type to be able to do that. But to see the instincts and his ability to anticipate has been very, very impressive for me.
10 games at this level, and the bat has been fine so far. And again, that's probably what he's most known for. But when do we even start to evaluate him? I'm here to say at least another 10, probably 20 more games.
I don't think you should look that far down the line.
Really?
I mean, we're going game by game right now. And the one thing about these young kids, typically they're still learning how to become players,
right,
let alone learn how to be big leaguers. So it's a lot of teaching going on, but it's the quality of the at-bats that he's having. As you can see, he's a guy that's a little unique. He closes his stance a little bit, and he dives in, and pitchers pick that up right away, and they try to attack that area because they think that you're vulnerable.
Can't get around.
There. But he has so quick hands and bat speed that he whips it through so quickly, and he able to keep those hands inside. He makes guys. Yesterday, even though he struck out, I thought it was a tremendous at-bat. He was in a situation where he should have got a slider in that at-bat. What happened, he dove and he froze, but on the pitcher's behalf, he threw one of the best pitches in baseball that's not used enough. He threw the swing-back fastball that he froze on, but it swung back over the plate. Even though Jonah was ready for it, he wasn't ready for that. So I love what I see with him in the box.
All right, so we've got a couple players up already here. Christian Pache probably in that list, too. How about the names and faces we do not see in Oakland yet, but we probably will soon? Shea Langelier's a catcher. Same thing with Tyler Soderstrom. He's in high A Lansing right now. And Zach Geloff, third baseman, is in Double-A Midland. So we've got Triple-A, Single-A, and Double-A here, all represented. Kind of catching heavy here, Shooty. Any other names besides those three?
Yeah, I mean, those are the top guys, but I'm also excited about a kid named Denzel Clark. He reminds you kind of like a Jermaine Dye type body. I've talked to other scouts that have gotten an opportunity to see him a lot more than I have, and they say he checks all the boxes. When you start looking at the analytics and the numbers and the things that you look for that fits their model, there's a lot of scouts that wish that they would have been able to acquire him in the draft. So the one thing about it, Brody, they're seeing the product of what we're trying to do come to the big leagues, but we're also aware that you can't rush these kids. Theoretically, you used to have to produce, out there and go out there and dominate your level and go up to the next level and do the same thing. But where we are, guys are skipping levels, guys are getting there quicker. And when you're in the position that we're in right now, it makes no sense to rush these guys where there could be a regression instead of a progression.
It only makes sense to rush him from a fan perspective because
I know.
This is what we're doing here. We're looking forward to the next core. And just going back to Shea Langoliers, he is the #1 piece. I guess you could say that right now. I mean, Pache is already here with the A's. But in terms of overall prospects in the pipeline still, that's what Shea Langoliers is still considered to be. And last night with AAA Las Vegas, as part of that huge Matt Olson trade, I mean, he has been making noise down there constantly. Hit his 13th homer of the season. This is it. Here's what you can't necessarily tell because the camera person loses the ball. That thing went 500 feet.
Man, it's strong. I mean, Ricky Henderson's strong. I mean, it's amazing to see the things that he's doing down there. You talk about all the players that we have and the prospects. All that does is heighten what we'll be able to do in the future, because if we have pieces where we're strong and we may have a lot of pieces in the same place, it allows you to get the pieces that you need.